It is hot in here, and I think I see why. Whoa! It's my opal modeling assistant, Sheila. She models all my finest opal jewelry. Well, word has it that all the opal channels are adding attractive assistants to help better explain all of the important things about opal, like how big they are and how pretty, how colorful, and how, well, just downright alluring they are. And let me tell you, Sheila is not just a pretty face. She has profound knowledge of opal, and profound means deep. She's deep. Her knowledge of opal is second to none. Sometimes I go by the name of None. Anyway, welcome, Sheila. Welcome to the glamorous side of Pulitzer Opal. Today's topic is Boulder Opal, not to be confused with boulders of opal. They better quit messing with that. I think she was crushed right after she took the selfie. These poor people had their car crushed when they were driving through the Opal Mountains of Australia. Terrible thing. The car was totaled. This guy was watching PewDiePie on his phone and failed to recognize an object in the road. I hope he wasn't hurt. Only his pride, Sheila, only his pride. Okay, enough fun with that. Let's get down to business. We're talking about Boulder Opal, not boulders made of opal. So what the heck is Boulder Opal? Boulder Opal is a type of opal that occurs in Queensland, Australia, and it's called boulder because it occurs in boulders of ironstone, not necessarily this large. Produces some absolutely spectacular patterns, bright colors. This one is from the GIA Museum on the GIA campus in Carlsbad, California. What a specimen. A few weeks ago, I saw this specimen on eBay. It was relatively cheap, and I thought this would make a good video. It's so beautiful that people really need to know about Boulder Opal. But why haven't I done a video on Boulder Opal in the past? Answer: Boulder Opal creates a colossal mess. Just brown gook all over everything. It'll stain your clothes. It gets all over your hands. Does this look like a sewage treatment plant or what? And an even bigger problem is that before you can cut regular opal, you have to clean all this mess up. Pretty tedious. I'm sure that the cutters in Queensland cut only Boulder Opal, and they don't have to worry about going back and forth between Boulder and regular opal. So thinking that I'd cover the subject of Boulder Opal, I spent like a dozen hours putting together all these diagrams and all sorts of things explaining what it is and every aspect about it, only to realize that this is boring. So if you're interested in boring stuff, I suggest you go to the end of this video and watch what I put together on the boring part. I know none of you will watch for that long, so I'm safe. So I started off with 3 pieces of opal. This one that I bought on eBay, another one that I probably bought on eBay years ago, and look at the size of this thing. This probably weighs a couple of ounces. I mean, you could hang it around your neck as a pendant or make a giant ring. I mean, everybody likes to have a ring about that size, I would say. But don't fall into the swimming pool because, well, they might find you on the bottom, hand first. Oh, I just love that ring. Put a cork in it, Sheila. So let's review. Today's mission is to take this one and these two and make beautiful cabochons out of them. For this first cabochon, my hope was that I could get it so that I could put a dome on it rather than just have a flat cabochon. But after working with it and cutting it and slicing it, I realized that I would just have to settle for a flat cabochon. So the goal with this cabochon was to make 2 cabochons out of it. That one at the top and that one on the side. I've chopped the color off. Didn't leave any there or there. Another nice piece. So I got it all off. And that's another potential cabochon. And now to do my fourth cabochon. Looks pretty good, but it's too large. So we're gonna trim it down to size. Looks pretty good, no problem. But then I need to put a dome on it, which would be something that I wanted to do in the other cabochon, but was not able to. And this one came out really very nice. Nice dome, pretty colors. Even the back looks pretty good. So let's go to the cabochon review. This one came out pretty nice, beautiful color. Love the pattern. Lots of color in those slender areas. Second one came out pretty good too. And I like the dome shape on that one. Now the first one, a little bit of a problem, but I noticed something about it. Could it be? Oh no, it's Alf. Okay, here comes the boring part. This is where I explain all about Boulder Opal so that you're going to know everything. Millions of years ago, there was an inland sea called the Ermanga Sea. This area now constitutes what's called the Great Artesian Basin, which is the source of all opal, which is where all of the opal mining places are in Australia. You'll notice on the left side of the screen all the places that I've mentioned before, like Coober Pedy and Mintabee. But the right side of the screen has this orange area, and that corresponds to the area of opal in Queensland. In most of Australia, the background rock is sandstone or claystone, and the same goes for Queensland, but in Queensland there's a very high concentration of iron. Over millions of years, this iron has transformed the normal sedimentary rock into ironstone, which is a very, very hard rock, much different from the soft sedimentary rock in most opal mining places in Australia. This is a seam of opal in a mine in Coober Pedy. You can just chip away the surrounding claystone. In Queensland, these are seams of opal within ironstone, which is extremely hard, and it's extremely difficult to get the opal out. So let's quickly review the types of opal. There's light opal, which is from places like Coober Pedy and Mintabee. There's black opal, which is mostly from Lightning Ridge. And there's Boulder Opal, which is from Queensland. This is Boulder Opal. So there's light opal, black opal, Boulder Opal, and Boulder Opal. Well, let's just go over the types of Boulder Opal. They're what I call long seam and short seam. Nobody else calls it this. Long seam is just regular Boulder Opal with long seams of opal. They tried for years to gouge this stuff out. It didn't work. 100 and something years later, they came back and they decided they had a way to do it. You take these tiny seams, you whack the rock with a hammer, and the hammer splits it along the seam, get color on two sides. This is from the GIA showing a seam that's been broken that way. This is another one. So you can take this, and basically this is like it's a little bit like a doublet. This is a doublet where we glue a dark rock on the back of clear opal. But with Boulder Opal, it's all natural because the opal is bound to the ironstone, as in this case here. What I call short seam Boulder Opal has very short, narrow seams. Most so-called short seam Boulder Opal comes from Koroit and Yawa. And this type of opal gets its name from its source, Koroit and Yawa opal. I deal mostly with Koroit opal. This is Koroit opal with short seams of colorful opal. Here's another nice example. Very short seams. You can't split it. This is a pendant I made some years ago with Koroit opal. And this is another one that I made some years ago with Koroit. It's really, really nice material. I like the Koroit opal, and that's why I did this video, despite the colossal mess that I had to clean up. But I hope that I've given you some sort of picture about what Boulder Opal really is. And I'll see you next time.